What's up guys, Saf Ashraf here. Today we are going to be taking a look at the best budget smartphones you can buy in 2021. None of the smartphones mentioned in this video are going to be in any particular order, and to be honest, all of these smartphones are absolutely brilliant buys. You guys can decide after listening to what I have to say. Let's get straight into the video. The first phone we're going to be talking about today is the Xiaomi Poco X3 Pro. This phone goes for around £200 on Amazon, and overall on Google is rated about 4.8 stars, which is amazing. For that price we get a 6.7 inch 1080p 120Hz display. The display alone is actually fantastic. We get a Snapdragon 860, which means overall performance with this smartphone will be great too. Going through the UI and going through overall apps will feel great. In the camera system we do have a quad camera setup, but I guess two of them only really count. We get a 48 megapixel main lens alongside 8 megapixel ultra wide lens. The 8 megapixel ultra wide is definitely better than a telephoto if we were to get one. So I'm really happy Xiaomi opted in to get the 8 megapixel ultra wide. However, where Xiaomi slipped up a bit is definitely going to be when they added a 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. In my opinion, these sensors are basically useless. The depth sensor does next to nothing, and the macro is just terrible. I'd rather use the main lens instead of using that macro lens. I think those two cameras may be the only bad thing about this phone. In terms of sound, we get a stereo speaker system, which is great, and we also get a headphone jack. Let's go. Now for the battery, we get a 5160 milliamp hour battery, which is a huge battery, along with fast charging support. However, there is no wireless charging, but that battery is big and will definitely last you the full day. From the reviews that I've seen about this phone on Google and on YouTube, everyone has had a lot of positive thoughts about this device. It is user friendly, overall usage is also great. So the Poco X3 Pro is a really good budget smartphone to buy in 2021. Honestly, big round of applause to Xiaomi because this smartphone is absolutely fantastic. The specifications they've pulled off with this amazingly low price, it's great. Hats off to you, Xiaomi. So next we're going to be looking at the iPhone SE. The iPhone SE is one of Apple's most simple smartphones I think they've ever made. The design is a recycled design from the iPhone 8, which means you will be feeling like you are still stuck in 2017. With the huge bezels and the home button, I'm pretty sure that this smartphone is not the greatest design there is, but I mean it is recycled. What else is there more to say? The display is not the best display out there. It's pretty mediocre. We get a 720p LCD panel at a 60Hz refresh rate. So yeah, the display is not a strong point on this device. However, performance is where this phone definitely shines, housing the A13 Bionic processor featured in the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro. The performance on this smartphone is definitely great and will withstand a couple of years. Gaming is overall nice, even though it is a small display, but you do get the power, and also just because Apple is such a tightly integrated smartphone with the OS and everything, then yes, this smartphone will feel very snappy, and it does offer quite a long time of software updates because I guess it is Apple. The camera as well is quite a strong point, even though there is only a single lens. I would have loved if Apple featured an ultra wide lens, however we don't get that here. However, the single lens by itself does produce some great shots too. Apple's HDR is amazing, and yeah, camera is definitely solid, even though I could have wished for an ultra wide angle lens. So overall the iPhone SE is Apple. So yeah, you know what you're getting into. You're getting into the ecosystem, Apple services, and the overall iPhone feel. You know what you're going to get into. Now we are going to be talking about the Google Pixel 4a. The Google Pixel 4a comes at about £350 depending on where you are looking at in the UK, which is a pretty good price. We get a 5.8 inch OLED hole punch display, which means that the overall phone does feel quite modern, especially with the hole punch display. And also it is an OLED panel, which means colors and overall blacks will be top notch. The overall phone is made of plastic, however it is a nice matte black, but yeah, it is plastic, it's not glass like the iPhone SE. In terms of how this phone feels for the user, it is pretty nice. We have the Snapdragon 730 processor in this phone, which means that overall processor, it's okay. You will be able to run your favorite games and apps at a nice level. And you will get quite a lot of future software updates because it is Google, and Google are running on their own Android OS. In terms of the camera, we once again do have a single lens, which I really would have loved an ultra wide angle lens, but yeah, we do only get a single lens, but that single lens is definitely great with the overall Google optimization. Overall colors are great, sharpness is also great, and Google's AI takes care of a lot of it. This camera lens stands up to a lot of the flagships here in 2021. So those are all the smartphones I'm going to be talking about today. What do you guys think? Which one is the best? Once again, hats off to Xiaomi for putting off those specs. The iPhone is the iPhone, you know what you're going to be getting into, and the Google Pixel 4a is an all-round great smartphone as well. So what do you guys think? If you are in the market for buying a budget smartphone, I would recommend buying a smartphone refurbished, and especially looking from a good store. So that's been it. Thank you guys for watching. It's Saf Ashraf, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.